record. And so now that I can record this, after this video is done, our meeting is done, I'll post this onto the Google Classroom through a YouTube link, so you can get it. But basically the purpose of today is really, I want you to be able to ask questions about this learning environment and how things are going to move forward in terms of assessments and AP and what have you. And I also want you to get over to the Google Classroom page. So let me share my screen. I got to get that for a second. And there we go. So if you can, everyone should be making sure they're looking at this is my fantasy baseball spreadsheet. We are going to close it up. You know, I just look at what I'm predicting. I think Garrett Cole is going to have 276 strikeouts this year. But now I got to update things because it's going to be a shortened season. So I'm going to get over to Google Classroom. I already have that up here. So let me look at this. Let me go.
Yeah, there's like instructions for how to scan your homework.
Absolutely. So what I want you to click on is classwork.
Okay.
So I'm going to click on classwork. There is a lot of new stuff on here. I actually removed virtually everything that was on there previously to make it look very different, because I'm different like that. And I'm going to get this. I want to make sure I see the chat. Or so. Let me get, show great video. There you go. Okay. So what you're going to see in this in this classroom now is I'm going to be putting just regular helpful videos for you. These are short videos of how I'm expecting you to scan in your homework. This is a video of how you're going to submit your homework on the Google Classroom platform. These are your lesson plans that I normally give out to you in person. I actually put lesson plans for the next 4 weeks on there. But I actually put each module or each big unit that we're like right now, we're about to start this new unit, applications of integration. And on here, I have it in the order that we're going to do it. Okay. And so if you click on 8.1 basic integration rules, this is just going to give you a layout of what we're going to do in that section. Okay. It's going to have a PDF file of my lecture notes. It's going to have a homework worksheet, which is actually also given here. And then later on today, I'm going to be making a YouTube video, which is me going through the PDF and annotating that file. And then I'll put a link to the YouTube video in this right here. Okay. And that's mainly how we're going to deal with the instruction of new material. So you'll have lecture notes, a video of me going over those notes, and then a homework worksheet. If you look in that homework worksheet right now, yeah, it's just written out. So these are book problems. If you are going to be going on to Regents, I almost said SFA, if you're going on SFA, if you're going to Regents the next day or two, I think they're putting out restrictions of when to get materials. Pick up your book. I actually contacted the publisher to be able to get a PDF copy of your book. Most publishers are allowing us to get PDF versions at no cost. So I might be able to put in a PDF version of the book if you don't get your book. But right now you don't need it. We only actually have two small topics to deal with before the AP exam. And this is one of them, applications of integration. Okay, so ask me a question.
How do we turn in our homework?
Great question. I don't know. No, if you go ahead and click on section 8.1 homework. Okay, see how the figure is a little bit different? If you click on this, this is actually an assignment for you. And so you can view the assignment, and you'll be able to submit your assignment. And actually, if I look in there, this video right here, how do I submit my assignment? This is a video, it's not made by me.
All right, let's talk about uploading an assignment to Google Classroom.
And it walks you through clicking on the assignment and uploading an image. So what I'm expecting you to do is to take out a pen and paper and to work your problems on a separate sheet of paper, and then to scan that. And I have a video here of how to scan your work, and then you would upload that image into Google Classroom on the day that it's due. Okay.
Can we print out those PDFs and do our homework on those?
Absolutely. So those PDFs right now, I made it so that there's room enough for you to do the work in there. So you absolutely can. You can print it and then scan it. I've been using Microsoft Lens. That works in Android and iPhone. And so if you had a Rocketbook, like my fancy little notebook, that'd be pretty cool. But this is an app, Microsoft Lens. It's free. It can take really quick images, and it does auto cropping. That's nice about Microsoft Lens. And actually the video that I have over in the Google Classroom is me using my phone to scan in a particular of one-year-old homework assignments, and showing how to get that into my phone so that I can upload that into Google. That video shows me using my phone 100%. It's me scanning my homework, navigating over to Google Classroom to upload that in there. So that's how you're going to do that. And we may have some kinks that we need to work out, but watch those two videos, and that should make it easier to figure out how do you submit, but how do I scan it and get it ready to be submitted. It's a great question. What other questions you got?
Can we subscribe to your YouTube channel?
You can if you want. It's not necessary.
Yes.
There actually is an entire AP Calculus section to my YouTube channel. You know, because eventually you put in videos in there. But
did you put any Fortnite gameplay on there?
I should put some Fortnite on there. So I should.
Yes. Coming soon.
That'll rape into views.
Coming soon. Me throwing a grenade. It'll be Minecraft tutorials. Maybe it's like stopping playing a game and then showing how to do the calculus. Build this particular.
Yes.
But no, if you have suggestions of different videos you want me to make in terms of instruction or how-to videos, I absolutely can make them very easily. What I am, of course, is going to be making videos for each one of these sections that we go through and annotating those. Those videos should be about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, they're fairly short. And if you think about in our classes that we usually do at Regents, if you had to just focus on my individual instruction itself, it's usually only 10 to 15 minutes. What takes the rest of the time is the other questions that you guys add and other examples. And so you should view the video with the PDF open, and then you should immediately start in the homework as you normally would, and then start asking questions and use Remind as your primary way to ask questions very quickly rather than email.
Okay.
What other questions you got?
Come on, James, ask something.
What about
I don't
grade?
have anything.
I have a question.
What?
So for the homework, will the classroom just have notifications as it goes on what stuff is due? Because I know we have our lesson plans, but I didn't know if it would
Yeah.
notify as well.
Yeah, I mean, one of the beauties of now having you all in Remind is now it goes to exactly how I deliver it with an SFA class. I use Remind to send out reminders when stuff is due. I could schedule out announcements weeks in advance. But Abby, I would. So for instance, 8.1, I'd like to have due on Monday. So I'll put a reminder. Now the due dates, you can think of when I say it's due on Monday, it's due by midnight that day.
Okay.
Now I think 8.1, that particular section, we may have some hiccups of scanning and getting stuff in your homework. And if that happens, you just got to text me, like, I'm having some issues of getting this uploaded. And we'll be flexible. It's not a big deal. But yeah, you'll get reminders of when I post new content and when I have due dates as well. That's the beauty of Remind, is I can put broadcast messages, just like you saw today. Those messages were planned yesterday to go out at certain times. Like, that's why it went out literally at 10:55 a.m.
Okay.
Because it was planned to do that. And what's cool about Remind, guys, is that you're the only ones that get the broadcast message. If you respond to that broadcast message, it only goes to me. It doesn't go to anyone else.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what's really, really, really nice about Remind. Like, it's private communication, but it's also, I have the ability to broadcast. So it's not like the annoying group me. I hate group meetings, by the way, because you get the thanks, thumbs up, great, and everyone gets those messages. In Remind, only I get those messages, and so you don't get annoyed by those. So yes, you should expect kind of reminders there. But I would highly recommend that's your medium where if you got questions, like I'll actually go back to sharing my screen and I'll show you an example of what I mean. Where is it? Where's my share screen? There it is. Let me go back. I'll show you what I mean by a student that just asked me a question just before I started the video here. So let me go back over to Remind. This is my Calc 1 class at SFA. This is a student. Where's Gavin? There's Gavin. Gavin just asked me a question about a homework problem that he has. So that's all he did. He just sent me an image of that. He actually had nothing in the text that even said, I have a question. He just sent me an email or sent me a remind with that image. He took a picture literally of his desktop and did that. So that's more than enough information to know. I know he has a question on 3.10 problem 3. And we can look at it. Look, it says it's increasing at a rate of $2 per month when the price is $20. Find the rate of change of the domain. Oh, what? This is an implicit differentiation question.
My favorite.
Wait, what's that?
What? Don't say that, James.
It's been too long.
No. That's it. I've cut you out of my will. Taking James out of my will now. But yeah, so that's what you can do. Reminds is one beautiful thing that we weren't doing before. I was told not to utilize that tool before, and I followed orders. But now
They came crawling back.
I was able to say, hey, I can do this now. And lo and behold, a lot of instructors at Regents are now using Remind. I think I sold them on it.
You started the trend.
I started the trend.
did it before,
It really is. It's revolutionized. I get a report every 6 months of just how many text messages I have through Remind. It's in the thousands of student texts that I get through Remind.
Dang, you be popping off.
It's just so easy. It's quick.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you getting one-on-one help. Okay, so I use Remind to get one-on-one help. That's okay. But you also have access to virtual office hours. Okay, and you can text me through Remind, and I can set up a Zoom chat, like a face-to-face time or FaceTime, and we can immediately get linked up. Okay, and I'm actually going to send you an email, not an email, sorry. Let me send you something else. I need I don't think, I'm sure, am I sharing my screen right now? I don't think I am.
No, sir.
No.
Well, let me go back to Sharon. I knew I should invite Sharon. Okay, so you're looking at my meetings. Let me go back to my profile right here. You see this link right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to put that onto Remind right now. And that link is basically a Zoom room for, oops, I sent to the wrong class. Whatever, they got it. They need it anyway.
Does it say your favorite class sending it to?
This is to my favorite Regents class.
Yeah.
Ever the mathematician right there. What's cool about that link, you have to think that Zoom is what it does. This is my permanent link. This link will always access a Zoom room. Right now, that room is closed. So if you click on that link, you're going to go into my waiting room. And it's going to automatically send me an email and say, you have students that are knocking on the door. They want to get into your room. I go to that link, it opens up the door, and you're able to get into the meeting room. And so if you want to have one-on-one instruction, which many of you are going to, I'm hoping that all 5 of you are going to want to have at different points to go over homework problems and stuff, send me a remind, and I can set up a Zoom chat, or I can get over to that particular meeting room and open the door so you can come on in and we can meet together. And typically Monday through Thursday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m., I just have that meeting room open and students just come and go. So it's literally a virtual meeting room. So this is going to be a way for you all to be able to get access to me so we can have virtual face-to-face interaction on homework problems, because even with the Remind, as beautiful it is, sometimes it's a lot easier if we just, I don't want to phone call. It's just easier if we're just open up a Zoom session and we could, I can load up my tablet and I can write on the screen on that and share that with you. And like I said, I've been doing that for about 2 years. So, and it's been helpful with students. So now this is something that's kind of cool. I'm gonna show you section 8.1. So this is the lecture notes for 8.1. That's it. 8.1 is a review of your basic integration rules. The integration of a sum, integration with a constant, you know, that kind of stuff. What's cool is that what I'll end up doing, I don't have my tablet right now, but I'll pretend this is my tablet. I can immediately start annotating this by adding notes, and I can do stuff. So, and I will take my stylus and I'll add comments to this. You know, this is, you know, some function of X. With my stylus, my handwriting is great. I'm doing with a mouse right now. But what's beautiful about this, it automatically saves it. After I record the lecture, I will put that extra PDF file so you have the post-annotated notes.
Okay.
Which is kind of neat. Microsoft Edge allows you to annotate PDFs really easily. And basically that's what I'll do if you did a Zoom session with me. I would just take my tablet out, open up Paint, and I would start annotating and writing down problems in there. So Abby, like you've been really good about writing emails back and forth with me. You're gonna love Remind to be able to ask questions.
Yes, sir.
It'll make it a lot faster. Okay, what other questions you got?
Okay, I have one more question.
What do you got?
Are we allowed to work ahead, or would you not recommend that?
You can absolutely work ahead. Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why in the lesson plans I put basically the lesson plans for this entire applications of integration. Hopefully by this weekend, I have videos of every single one of these sections. And over the spring break, before the COVID-19 restrictions, I had made the homework for these three. I just stopped because I was like, oh, that's 2 weeks of work. Let me just stop there. Absolutely. I think all 5 of you are capable of working at different paces and going through the material faster than probably we normally would. And you can, because you can now you can afford blocking your schedule. You can spend 3 or 4 hours on calculus on Monday and work through an entire module. And then on Mondays from 1 to 5, you work on your mathematics. And you can submit your homework and do that. And that's completely fine. And I would encourage you to block your time like that. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I work, my omnibus senior thesis from 3 to 7 or 3 to 6.
We don't talk about senior thesis.
But I'm a big fan of I've always blocked my schedule. Not always. I've been blocking my schedule since I was about a junior in college. I know what times of the day that I typically do research, where I typically do lesson planning, where I typically play Fortnite.
Yes.
That kind of stuff.
Right now.
Right now. Yeah. By the way, like working remotely from home. I'm not at home right now, but yesterday I was. Caleb's upstairs. He goes, "Do you think we can play duos?" And there's just a reality of I just can't stop working just to go play. I'm like, I gotta work, buddy. I have like different meetings and stuff. It's like, oh, when you get done, like, yeah, when I get done. I got done at 5. Oh, sorry. There you go. Anyways. But yes, you can absolutely work ahead. I plan to have everything for applications of integration done probably by this weekend in all the little videos.
All right.
And then I'll work on the next module. I actually have stuff for the next module. I just didn't want to put it on there because I wanted you to know that this parent one is the current one that you're in or about to start.
Okay.
I did load in the calculus of transcendental functions. Let me go back over to here and let me share my screen again. If you look directly underneath applications of integration, there is calculus of transcendental functions. This is the learning material that we just covered. And if you remember before the break, we're about to take a quiz on that one. And that was actually already made and it was going to be online. So that worked out really well. So let me navigate over to the AP classroom. And you'll see in there, it's a trimester 3, exam 1, S1 to S3. It's a 45-minute exam. It's actually due, AP midnight is 11:45 p.m. But it's due tomorrow by 11:45 p.m. You guys are used to doing this. It actually came available a couple days ago. But if I click on that, and I'll just click on it so you actually can see the exam itself. So you'll see the first question. But there's 10 questions. They're all AP questions. So like this first one, let f and g be inverse functions that are differentiable for all x. If this is the function value, remember f and g are inverses. And if g prime of 7 is 3, which of these following are true? And so you're answering that question, and that's how we're going to do exams moving forward. I really want you to be working on only AP exams for any of your assessments. And we're really trying to shoot for, I deem A caliber work is someone that's maintaining a 6 out of 10 score. By all means, you should be looking for 10 out of 10. But an AP score of 5 is going to be someone who can maintain a 6 or a 7 on all of these types of assessments.
Okay.
And that's what your goal. Every one of you are capable of doing that. And so that's available on AP Classroom. And Abby, like you said, well, I send reminders about that. That's what I'll send reminders for, because that's independent from the Google Classroom.
Okay.
Is that deadline doable for you guys if I have that by tomorrow at midnight, or do you want me to extend it out to say Tuesday or Monday of next week?
You guys know when we're.
I mean, the only problem I have is I don't have a computer to use. So I guess I could just use my dad's when he gets home. But
you can also access this through your phone. I looked at
Okay.
Classroom on my phone last night, or this morning, however we want to look at it. And it does look okay in your phone. If you're doing free response questions, the text is pretty dang small, James. But my recommendation is to actually use your phone and not a desktop.
really, okay.
If you're doing a free response question and you're working on pen and paper, your phone can take the picture and just upload it right away without having to put it to a cloud and upload it. So, and yeah, the font is pretty small, but you're working pen and paper anyway. And for the multiple choice, you're just going to go 1, 2, 3. I think your internet will be more reliable on your phone too, because it knows how to do cell phone towers.
Okay.
And so I would recommend that. And so, yeah, and also I should mention, the exams, they're open book.
Yes.
Open book, but you should deal with it alone.
I love cheating.
You love cheating. So deal with alone. AP itself, I really think you should expect that your AP exam is probably going to be taken remotely and online. And so you want to get used to doing some sort of online device there. Probably in that day, I'm probably going to have you all come onto campus, onto SFA's campus, get into the wireless because it's really reliable, and I'll set you up in all individual rooms.
Can I be in a room with James or Jim?
No, from all by yourself. But AP has not sent out an email about what they're going to do. But I know last year they've been working on doing remote for homeschoolers, and they did that last year. And so I think they're going to do a similar thing this year. But I really don't know how they're going to do that all. But I think it's going to be through the AP Classroom system.
When do we go get our books from school?
Basically, the email that we got from Mr. Bryant yesterday was, it sounds that they're going to be sending some guidelines to come up to campus to grab your stuff in the next, probably today, and to come down on Friday. See, I was told on Tuesday they were trying to make it so on Friday you would come down at different periods to pick up your stuff. Okay. I'm going to be getting a PDF version of your textbook and put that onto the Google Classroom pretty quick. I already found actually a free PDF of all of your questions of your textbook and the answers. They all have links to them. So I already had that, but I want to get your text itself.
So for this class, we really only need our notes to get from school if we don't have those already.
I'll get your notes and I'll get your textbook, but I'm going to get a PDF version of your textbook.
Okay.
If not, I'll just scan it myself and scan each section. Actually, that might be the best thing for me to do, how it's broken up. Scan each section for 8.1 and then upload that with my Microsoft Lens. Actually, I might do that. That might be faster. And if I get the full PDF, then get the full PDF. Yeah, that's the only two things you need. and your calculator. Make sure you have your TI.
All right.
Yep. Ask me another question. I'm sick.
It's Corona time.
It's Corona time. Yeah, I wouldn't buy any stock in Corona beer. I think that's probably going to tank.
I saw something that said that a lot of people aren't buying it right now.
There's a Babylon Bee about it.
Out of fear that it has it for somehow. I don't know.
You know, there's a Corona typewriter. You better wipe down that keyboard. Yeah. So on a personal note, what I would think, especially for you as being more calculus minded, you probably have heard a lot about flattening the curve, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you can think of, let me go over to, let me share my screen.
What is
Share my screen. So I'm going to go over to Desmos. And I'm just going to give you a picture of an exponential, or of a Gaussian. Oh, someone's breaking out. Oops. Do that. Okay. So this is a picture of a Gaussian. Okay. And let me, I guess I'll divide by square root of pi. Now what I gotta do? I gotta almost divide by the area. Okay, so this is called a normal curve. It's a normal distribution. Okay, let me get projector mode. Can everyone see the Desmos screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can think of right now, if I integrated, so let me actually call this f of x. And if I integrated, so let me integrate from minus a up to a of f of x. Well, actually, I should go from minus 10 to 10. Oops, it might not work. Oh, I got my caps lock on. I'm going to delete that. So if I integrate, dang you, caps lock. There we go. Keep that right there. Okay. So let me integrate again. Minus 10 to 10. F of x dx. See that integral? Okay. So this would tell you like the total number of cases that we could have in this pandemic. Okay. And you've heard a lot about flattening the curve by doing something like that. Okay. Now, notice I'm not, by changing this A, I'm kind of widening it, but we really want is that height to go down. Okay. So let me see. Let's suppose it's like 1 over A. Okay. So we have, as we decrease, like you can think of the height of the curve, it's going up proportionally A, and I'm trying to flatten that curve out. Now notice when I did that by having it go by 1 over A, notice that the area underneath the curve is exactly the same no matter what A I choose. If A is equal to 1, the area is 1.7724. And the area underneath the curve is still 1.77, but even though it's flatter. So what's the physical interpretation of that? What's that mean?
Is it trying to reduce the infection rate?
What does this integral represent?
The area under the curve.
Yeah, but what's that area on the curve represent? If f of x is represents the number of patients at a given time. So what is this area trying to represent? And I'm representing it as the total number of infected.
Okay.
So this, you can think of this, we're gonna have 1.77 units of infection, okay? right now, if we didn't have quarantining, the spike, this, let me go like this. 10. Okay, let me zoom out. And I have, if I had that spike right now, see how I'd still have 1.77 cases?
Mhm.
If I flatten the curve, I still have how many cases?
Same amount.
Exactly. Okay.
Look, James.
So flattening
Yes.
the curve is not going to prevent the number of cases that we're going to have. But as Connor said, it's going to reduce the infection rate. And we're trying to make that spike, suppose this is like this is a time scale. So let me put x-axis is time. If this is time, I'm trying to make it so the peak number of cases is as small as possible so I don't overwhelm different things. I'm going to mute some of you. Let me see. There we go. Oh, it was Ethan. There we go. No, okay. Go figure. But yeah, so you can think of what we're trying to do is make sure that spike is not happening all at one time. So you can think of, I don't want all the area underneath the curve, the total number of cases, to happen in a really small amount of time. I want it to happen over a long window. So part of what you all are doing, you're contributing to that process. We know we're going to get a lot of cases here in this country, but the goal is if we can make this happen over a really long period of time, then we won't overwhelm the medical system. There's only a finite amount of ventilators available. So it kind of also, it points out that it might be a long time that you're dealing with remotely. So it might make that even for you all, when you attend your first semester at college, it might still be a distance learning environment even in the fall, but we don't know.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm. But the calculus, that's when you hear flattening of the curve, you've already heard the American Surgeon General say we're at an inflection point because we're looking at an S curve. Let me get a picture of an S curve. So let me do like e to the x divided by 1 plus e to the x. This is called an S curve. Let me dampen it a little bit. So let me go like minus. Let me go like minus. No, I want to do 0.0.
You're not screen sharing right now.
Dang you. That's good. I was writing nasty messages. Okay, so I didn't want that. Okay, this is called an S curve, and so let me do like 5. Okay, and notice that here's the inflection point right there. And so you can think of, this is commonly used for in population dynamics. It's called the logistic model. We'll eventually actually study the logistic curve, sometimes called an S curve. But you can think of, this is again your time scale. You could think -5 is you have some infections that are happening, and it exponentially grows for a period of time, but then it goes toward a carrying capacity. You know, if there's 6 trillion people in the world, what we have 6 billion? No, 6 billion people in the world. You can't infect 6 trillion. So the Americans or say what? It was the American Surgeon General. You know, they said the words that we're at an inflection point. So we're basically seeing an exponential increase in the number of cases in America, and we're hoping that if we do some sort of restriction, that we can make this curve bend down sharper, and so it doesn't continue on this large trend and get up to the maximum capacity. So think about how steep it is right here. If this exponential is steeper, then I approach 5 far quicker, which is really bad for the medical society. So there's a lot of calculus underneath the hood of what's happening in the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, other questions that you have? Okay, so if there are any other questions you have, send it through Remind. Give me a thumbs up on the chat, just to make sure you haven't had any other questions there. And I'll end the meeting. I'll put a recording of this onto the Google Classroom as well. So just send me a text over the group chat to make sure you're A-okay. Oh, I got a thumbs down.
Wow.
Boy, man, I mute you for 3 seconds and this is what I get. Oh, I got an O-tay. O-tay. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. Well, then I'll leave you on a really good note. Did you know that balloons hate certain types of music? Do you know what type of music that balloons absolutely despise?
Pop.
That's right. Pop music, my friends. Music. Mm-hmm. You want some
I
other?
said it too. I don't know if anyone could hear me.
Oh, I heard it. Oh, I heard it.
I don't think you did.
Say it a little louder.
By the way, what did the parent coffee bean say to the kid coffee bean? You're grounded.
Don't brew around. Oh.
No.
Oh man, that was good. Hey, this one I've heard many, many times, and I have many, different versions of it. Why couldn't the pony sing himself to sleep? He was a little horse. Like, a little horse.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hey, where do pencils go on vacation? Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, that's right. Okay. What kind of music do you listen to? What kind of music do fish listen to? What do you think? I really don't know, but I bet it's catchy.
Oh gosh.
Oh man. So
You need to send us a pun every day,
I can.
since we won't get to hear them in class anymore.
Did you know, by the way, Abby, I know some of you have family members that do a lot of woodworking. Okay. I know that you really probably can't put your finger on it, but you should be very careful around those saws.
Oh man.
Oh. I do. I should have a pun of the day. I should.
Mhm.
I'm reading some from my handwritten ones, by the way, right now. That's why I'm looking down. I have lots of good ones. Yep. I'll leave you on those notes. I think that was good. I already told you about the dead battery, right? I gave all my dead batteries away free of charge.
Free of charge.
Yep.
Yeah.
You hear about why I try not to go to a doctor when I have broken bones? Because it's broken in the wrong place. They're always in the wrong place or something like that. I know. I need to work on that one.
I don't get it.
Something where, like, you're broken in many, many places. Like, oh, well, I shouldn't go to those places or something. I don't know. No, I think that every time I go to a doctor, they try to put a pin on me. I don't know. So, all right. So I'm going to end the meeting. I'll see you.
Thank you.
Bye.
99.
Bye.
Okay. Be in touch. Later.
Later.
Bye.